Okay, so I've been promising this video for a very long time, and now here it is. I'm going to cover Kim Petras and her very first era in this video. I need to give credit where credit is due. It has been 11 singles, 3 collaborations, an entire Halloween EP. She has not released a bad song yet. Kim first came onto the scene in 2017 with I Don't Want It At All. It was a really good introduction to her brand, and the type of music that she'd make later on. It's a bop. She would go on to release a lot more singles, like Hillside Boys, amazing. Hills, Slow It Down, one of the best pop songs I've heard in a while. Faded, Heart to Break, a classic, Can't Do Better, All the Time. If You Think About Me, 1, 2, 3 Days Up, and Homework are the latest releases. I don't really count Feeling of Falling because that was a collaboration with Cheat Codes. And still, she had the time to release an amazing Halloween Turn Off the Dark Volume 1 EP. So, really hard-working person. Kim went from this girl who was the very youngest person to receive transgender surgery in Germany to becoming possibly one of the first trans pop stars to have genuine impact on the industry. That's kind of cool. Okay, so this is going to be somewhat of a non-traditional video compared to my other more structured video essay works. I'm going to really not go in chronological order, but rather explain why I think Kim Petras is one of the best voices in pop at the moment. So if I'm jumping around from song to song, just know that I'm not going through her discography in order like I normally do with other artists. I want to preface this by saying that I am aware that she works with Dr. Luke, and I find a lot of problems with that. It's actually one of the barriers that stop me from outright saying that I stan Kim. If there's anything that her collaborations with Cheat Codes and Sophie have illustrated, it's that Kim is a talent in her own right. She doesn't need to be working with Dr. Luke, who honestly kind of holds her back to the same kind of droopy, monotonous sounding style. If you listen to 1, 2, 3 Days Up, you can tell that Luke got his fingerprints all over it and made it boring. But with that out of the way, I kind of want to focus more on Kim Petras and what I think kind of makes her special in many regards. And it's not just her background as a trans artist, it's really how she approaches music. That's the sort of thing that keeps me coming back to her music. One thing that I noticed when I was watching a bunch of interviews to sort of research Kim Petras and who she is, one thing she constantly mentions is that she is a pop nerd, to the point where she knows all sorts of trivial things about 2000s pop stars, to an extent where she actually studied from it. I think this is something that we can credit to her, something that other pop girls that are just starting out right now don't really have, per se. Kim is involved at every step of her music, you can tell, but there's this level of deliberation to each work, sort of like little touches, like her going that's become her trademark. There's this sort of almost mechanical, but in a very smart way, manufactured pop sheen to everything that she does. And it's something that her contemporaries like Charli XCX and other pop girls don't really have, that it's academic in nature. And no, that wasn't a pun about Homework. There's something admirable about the narrative that she presents herself with, being this underdog girl who just wants to be a pop star. It's this undercurrent, the story that drives many of her works, and you can see it with I Don't Want It At All in particular. You can see it with Heart to Break, the entire music video sort of being a metaphor for wanting to be a star. I don't really see it as a straightforward Disney princess yearning to find love. I mean, that's how you could see it, but if you listen to the song, you listen to her interviews, you can tell Heart to Break is deeper. Maybe it's about her industrial wants to be respected and seen as a pop star. There are plenty of other songs that she's released that are pretty simple songs about, I don't know, getting high on the hills or cute boys or getting faded. My biggest takeaway from this era is her ability to storytell. Even if the lyrics aren't necessarily deep, it's clear that Kim is able to create some sort of storytelling mechanism through all the imagery, through her entire presentation as a person. You can see through the multifaceted colors that are demonstrated through the covers, that Kim is trying to use this era to sort of propel herself, to reveal facets about her personality, hence why her songs are varied despite sounding relatively cohesive. And of course, just to round this video out, before I start talking about expectations I have for the next era, I just want to say that my highlights from this era so far, despite liking just about every track, have been songs like Slow It Down, Heart to Break, Can't Do Better, which is one of the most heart-wrenching songs I've heard in a while. I really did like All the Time, but I overplayed it. On the new singles, I didn't think they were the strongest picks. I can see why she released all three of them at once, just to sort of discard the cache of songs that she has before she starts her proper era. Regardless of that opinion, I really did like If You Think About Me. It's a song that sort of blends the best parts of Heart to Break and Can't Do Better. I feel like it's a nice split in between. This song is very special. She tweeted actually that she wrote this in the basement of her mom's house back in Germany, so it's just really nice to have an artist share a song that's near and dear to them, that's something that they wrote when they were a lot younger. I may or may not have a soft spot for Homework because it reminds me of old Avril. I don't know why I get old Avril vibes from it. And I can't really forget her other, releases. I really did like Feeling of Falling, overplayed it to death, unfortunately. She has a really good feature on Anymore by Lil Aaron. I highly recommend that if you're into like pop punky sounds. Lil Aaron's actually really good. He's amazing. I would make an entire video about him, and I might. We can't forget about Unlock It, but I'm pretty sure all of you guys have heard it before, so I'm not even going to talk about it. Did you guys know that she actually made a song with Twice of Likey fame? She made a song called Young and Wild. She composed it though. She didn't really write it. Now I'm just gonna talk about what I want out of Era 2. Era 2 is coming very soon. Kim has already picked the first single, her first proper single. I expect this era will most likely actually get a real push. I foresee her performing on television, doing some standard appearances, actually really pushing herself above what she's been doing, even though what she's been doing so far has been really interesting. Like, she was an opening act on the Bloom tour. She toured, she sang around many Pride festivals. She put herself out there. Now she's gonna make her proper push into the mainstream, and I'm interested to see how exactly this plays out. I think as more and more people get to know Kim, they may find themselves enamored. I've noticed that a lot of my friends who I've introduced her music to stan her and love her, but I am genuinely concerned that if she continues to work with Dr. Luke, she will not be able to manage to really pierce the veil and be embraced. I think a great deal of controversy will come out if she, becomes a big mainstream artist. I foresee a lot of cancellation articles and people calling her out on why she works with Dr. Luke. I'm not saying for her to just disregard any legal agreements that she made with Dr. Luke, but for the long-term health of her career and, fulfilling that dream, making that narrative that she so clearly wants to make happen, becoming this pop star and being able to really say that I did it, that sort of underdog quality and winning the day. I don't think she'll be able to reach the heights that she should reach with Dr. Luke behind her. I just really find it disappointing, and I honestly could not for the life of me finish this video because I would always end up talking about Dr. Luke. The fact that I couldn't even finish this commentary or stay relatively unbiased about, what I'm saying, I just really cannot, I just really couldn't, And it's such a shame, it's just really a big shame that this is clouding over what should be kind of like a triumphant moment. And it is a triumphant moment if you think about it, that she was able to release 11 really good tracks, do all of these collaborations, put her name out there, become a Twitter meme. She's accomplished so much, and I would just hate for an association with someone who has allegedly done bad things to really damage her long-term chances at being possibly one of the first trans pop stars. She can work with Sophie, she can work with Cheat Codes, she can find plenty of other producers. So why associate yourself with someone like Dr. Luke? Why? Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. I'm so sorry I was a hot mess on this video. I've tried to record it like 13 different times, and this is the final version. I'm proud of what I put forth, and I hope you guys continue to watch my videos and subscribe and comment and like and just do your thing. Thank you so much.